Hey, what's up, allies? Today I started a 21-hour course on CERT training, Community Emergency Response Team. It's something that's set up by FEMA. There's a curriculum, there's a whole system, a registration, if you will, and there's all kinds of actually pretty useful information. I was pretty surprised. It was something that popped up kind of a little bit last notice. Leia let me know that there was going to be a weekend course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just knock out all 21 hours. And so today was a little bit of an abbreviated day. It wasn't a full day, but I took some notes here, and I kind of wanted to just talk to you briefly about what it is and what my going in feelings are for this first day. So the first question is, what is CERT? Well, right off the website, the Community Emergency Response Team program helps to train people to be better prepared to respond to emergency situations in their communities. When emergencies happen, CERT members can give critical support to first responders, provide immediate assistance to victims, and organize spontaneous volunteers at a disaster site. CERT members can also help with non-emergency projects that help improve the safety of the community. For a little inside baseball on CERT, just a cool little piece of history, CERT was created by Frank W. Borden, and he's credited for lots of different things, international groups that he set up, but one of the biggest is CERT, and it's a pretty interesting program. So why did I decide to take CERT training? A couple of main reasons are that, one, I live in a suburbs type environment. I think most of you know that. From seeing my videos, I'm in the suburbs, I support self-reliance and preparedness, but what else? Well, I also appreciate that there's a drain on infrastructure when there are emergency situations. For instance, the person who's giving our particular class is a firefighter, and he was mentioning that when there's a severe emergency, most sheriffs or police and fire could be out as far as 7 to 10 days in some cases, that they just won't show up, they just won't respond. So in the meantime, you're pretty much on your own, and I think from watching my videos, my ham radio videos, my prepper videos, my self-reliance videos, that I'm all about being personally accountable for your own survival, your own personal defense, everything. And CERT really is just an extra layer of that. It's the community layer. And I'll be honest, there's a couple of things that I learned today that I didn't really think about, and not that I'm necessarily lacking as far as my preparations go, but the training and the why you do what you do in that particular situation, something I didn't know, and something I'm actually looking forward to for the next 2 days. So in a pretty important thing, and I think that it's something that's really my thesis on why I decided to get involved with CERT, at least at this base level, just this very base level. I believe that if you decide to live in a dense situation, either a suburb or like an urban environment, that you really have to bring in the community around you. You really have to make friends with your neighbors. You have to get to know your neighbors. You have to understand what their strengths and actually what their weaknesses are, so that you can help them if you're hurt, because generally I like helping people. I don't like to see somebody with a medical condition lose power and their batteries die, and all of a sudden you're in a situation where somebody doesn't have the appropriate equipment to survive, right? So because I've elected to live in a suburbs type environment, in a smaller urban environment, I think that it's best suited is if I engage with the community and try and help where I can. And I'm a bit outgoing, so I generally try and go towards leadership, and I think that CERT's going to be a value added kind of thing to help in that area. I don't necessarily believe about going off-grid, right? I think you guys know that I'm not really an off-grid type, bug-out type guy. I'm more of a bug-in type guy, and build strong connections with your community. And I feel that CERT is an extension of that. Who is CERT for? Who should take it? And I think that there's really a multitude of answers, but some of the best possible people that should take this are people, one, that already have a prepper mindset or a skill set of self-reliance, either on their own, they've self-elected to go out and learn about how much water should you have? How much food should you have? People who've already elected to put down some form of storage, some form of preps. CERT's just going to line right in with that, because what it's going to do is it's going to hopefully open the doors of your communication to fire and sheriffs, hopefully sheriffs and different law enforcement. And then you can either elect to engage yourself more if you'd like to, or you don't have to. But it's going to give you a set of knowledge that you might not already have. Like, I don't have that level of knowledge. I learned today, for instance, how fires actually propagate, and I've never really thought about that before. Yeah, I have a fire extinguisher. Yeah, I've got hardwired fire alarms in every room. All the things. I follow all those particular good prepper pieces, but I don't really involve myself in the understanding of fire and how fire propagates and its involvement in a disaster area and what I'm capable of fighting with, my little home-bought fire extinguisher. CERT gave me a certain kind of guideline of what to look for. And you know, that's another thing. Let me get this out of the way as an important tangent, but it's a very important one. CERT views like safety as your paramount thing, your personal safety, the safety of your family. So a lot of these guidelines really is just going to keep you and your family out of trouble in an emergency situation. And that is the best possible thing you could do as far as becoming not a strain on the social services, fire, the law, sheriffs, or police officers. So in its own sense, providing these classes is allowing people to not be a drain on society in an emergency situation, which is huge. So that leads me to my next point. Who should take this? Well, if you're not just of this prepper mind, the self-reliance mind, then if you're of a community mindset that you need to be more engaged with the community or not take from the community, then having the ability not to take from the community in an emergency situation would reduce the strain immensely. Going back to what I said earlier, if the fire department is 7 to 10 days from responding to any issue you have, then your capability to be self-reliant in that time is going to help you, and it's probably going to help your community, and it's going to allow the fire department to go help those people that are much needier of their time and their involvement. And let me tap into this, because I know that there are some people, I've looked online and I've read different things regarding CERT and RACES and ARES. These are both ham radio response emergency teams, that because of their FEMA involvement, that there could be some kind of, you know, overreaching government type of thing. I want to leave you with this anecdote that the instructor gave today. There was a slide. This is all done on PowerPoint, and he put up this really cool slide, and it covered, like, you know, all the list of bug out items that you need to have in your go bag or whatever, your self-reliance bag, all these different items: water, food, change of clothes, medicine, a pocket knife, something to start a fire, etc. It was a pretty detailed list, and he said, you know, raise your hand if you think there's anything missing here. And I raised my hand, and it was a flashlight. You know, it was obviously there was a flashlight missing. And then, and he kind of had a smirk on his face. He goes, anything else? And nobody said anything else. Then he flipped the slide, and this is what he showed. Yeah, that's the tried and true meme picture of the cat with the sniper rifle looking out a window. And then he went into the whole thing of having a part of your preparations a show of force, or the ability to apply force when needed. That's no joke, right? Coming from California, you know, very anti-gun state, this instructor, a part of the infrastructure, the fire and the law enforcement, made it clear that if there ever is an emergency situation, that you're on your own. And so that could mean that you're going to have to protect yourself, perhaps violently, because if you are the haves and the have-nots are coming, they're going to try and take your stuff. I think the way he did it was tongue-in-cheek, and it was light, but the gravity of the situation was felt by everybody, I believe. And I think some people went away a little shocked by that slide. I certainly did it. I was glad that he mentioned it, because that's certainly what I believe. But it gives me a bit of, it helped me exhale a bit, because I was like, oh my god, I'm getting involved with this like government entity, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out that regardless of who created this syllabus might believe, the people who are actually on the ground instructing, they have their own beliefs that they've intertwined with how they feel this program should go, and how they feel it's most effective. And understand, this is a guy who's been to Haiti and New Orleans, and he's worked most of the brush fires in California. For all you guys that watch my channel because you're here for gun channels, or for, you know, that I'm involved with firearms, that was a very calming thing to me. I was glad that he mentioned it, because that is a part of my self-reliance plan, and that is something that I've thought about, that we've talked about in different videos. So it made me very happy to see that. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. No question of the day, but I'd like you to tell me what you think of CERT, or if you've had CERT training, or you've had something like it. Maybe you're a ham radio guy that's come here because of the ham radio crash course, the emergency comms video series that I'm working right now, or all the past ham radio crash course videos. Maybe you're part of RACES or ARES. If you are, post in the comments below. I think it'll help you out a lot. I think prepping has turned into this like lone wolf mentality thing, and that we gotta have all these preps so that we don't ever have to engage with everybody, and you send those people out to the cold. And I don't think that's right. I think the thesis that I've had for so long is that prepping is for everybody, and we need to be prepared to help your community and bring people up a level. And I think CERT is the ability to get people thinking in that prepper mindset, not prepper like doomsday preppers, but that self-reliance and being prepared is good, because that helps you not be a drain on society, particularly when things go bad. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Post your comments below. Love it if you subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow for part 2 of the CERT training. I'm gonna apparently put out a fire with a fire extinguisher. I've done that before, but who knows? Maybe I'll learn something new. I've already learned some things new today, so very looking forward for tomorrow. Guys, that'll do it for today. So yeah, move it back and forth. I'm gonna like change my... You stink. That stinky breath. He's been eating fish?
Yeah.
Oh, get him out of here. God.
Yeah, fish.
Breathing in my face.